Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into a really wild paradox. We're going to look at how the absolute greatest goal scorer in the history of football actually started out as a barefoot kid on a tiny island who got relentlessly mocked for his tears. It's this fascinating mix of psychology, physical endurance, and just sheer unfiltered willpower. All right, let's jump in. To really get Cristiano Ronaldo, you kind of have to start by asking yourself a pretty simple question. Why did the greatest goal scorer in history cry so much? Seriously, we have to journey way back to 1985 to a little tin-roofed house in Madeira. His family had almost nothing. Before he even touched a proper leather football, he was out there playing with tied-up rags or plastic bottles, just kicking them down these hot stone streets. And the thing is, every single time he lost, or even if he just didn't get past the ball, he cried. He literally couldn't hold the tears back. Because of this, his neighbors and the other kids gave him this mocking nickname, the crybaby. But man, did they miss the point entirely. He wasn't crying because he was weak. He was crying because he cared. While the other kids were just out there messing around for fun, he was playing like his actual life depended on it. So the whole takeaway here is that his extreme emotional investment wasn't some character flaw. It was literally the foundation of his phenomenal drive to win. Section 1. A heart that almost stopped. The ultimate physical obstacle. That insane drive? It led him to pack up and leave his family at just 12 years old to join Sporting CP in Lisbon. The transfer fee was a mere £1,500. Chump change today, right? But then, by age 15, this unseen medical terror pops up and threatens to end the whole story before it even gets going. He gets diagnosed with tachycardia. Essentially, it's a condition where the heart beats dangerously fast, even when your body is completely at rest. For a kid pushing his physical limits every single day, this was basically lethal. He had to undergo this terrifying laser surgery to burn away the malfunctioning part of his heart. But here's the crazy part. His mom actually claims the procedure didn't just save his career, it somehow made him run even faster. Fueled by this literally, and I guess metaphorically, fixed heart, the kid just goes off. He does something Sporting CP had never seen before. In just one single season, he rockets through every age group. Under 16s, 17s, 18s, the B team, bam, 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 and makes his first team debut at just 17 years old. And of course, he scores 2 goals right out of the gate. Which brings us to Section 2, the Manchester United transfer, a legendary breakthrough. This miraculous climb through the ranks sets the stage for a fateful night in August 2003. Sporting is opening their brand new stadium with a friendly match against Manchester United. Before the game, United manager Sir Alex Ferguson drops this incredibly casual warning to his squad. By the way, lads, they have a young winger. Look out for him. He is quite good. Talk about the understatement of the century. Over the next 45 minutes, this 18-year-old completely tortures United defender John O'Shea. Just step over after step over, until the guy is so exhausted he literally has to sit down on the grass at halftime to catch his breath. The United players were just mesmerized. Right after the match, they go straight to Ferguson and basically demand he sign the kid immediately. No waiting around. And 5 days later, done deal. A staggering £12 million transfer. So they hand him the legendary number 7 shirts. No pressure, just the one worn by guys like George Best and David Beckham. But the English Premier League is brutal. It's incredibly physical, and he faced all these early accusations of diving. So how does he fix it? By relentlessly perfecting his craft. We're talking 10 to 20,000 practice movements. First guy to arrive, last guy to leave. Just drilling the exact same free kicks, headers, and stepovers tens of thousands of times until he literally transformed from this skinny teenager into an unstoppable powerhouse. Section 3. Triumphs and heartbreaks. Reaching the peak. All that grueling practice paid off big time. By 23, he's got his first Ballon d'Or and a Champions League title. But there's a really heavy, painful contrast we have to talk about here. On one hand, you have the global icon conquering the sport. On the other, a grieving son. Back in 2005, when he was just 20, his dad passed away from liver failure. He wept these tears of profound tragedy, dealing with this incredibly heavy irony. His father, the man who used to wash shirts for his childhood club in Madeira, would never get to see his son become the absolute best player in the world. But he channels all of that immense grief and emotion and eventually moves to Real Madrid for a world record fee. And his output there? It's almost hard to wrap your head around. 450 goals. He put up that unbelievable number in just 438 matches over 9 years. To put that into perspective, that is more than a goal a game for almost a decade against the absolute best defenders in Europe. Just wild. Moving to Section 4, the captain's ultimate test, the 2016 European Championship. Even with 4 more Champions Leagues and 4 more Ballon d'Ors in Madrid, a major international trophy with Portugal kept slipping through his fingers. Until the 2016 European Championship final against France. It's the biggest match of his life, and tragedy strikes right out of the gate. 8th minute, a devastating knee collision. He tries to push through, but by the 25th minute, his body just gives out. He gets stretchered off the pitch, sobbing. You probably remember the camera shot. A single moth lands right on his tear-stained cheek. It really felt like it was all over.
But what's so fascinating about this moment is that he flat out refuses to surrender. He limps back out to the touchline in a tracksuit. At halftime, he looks at his squad and says, "Listen, I am sure we will win this Euro. Stay together, fight for it." He starts pacing the sidelines, pointing, shouting, basically acting as their emotional coach. He was projecting his own immense will to win right onto his teammates.
And you know what? It worked. Eder scores the winner, the final whistle blows on a miraculous 1-0 victory, and the tears come back. But this time, they're tears of joy. He was lifting the trophy he couldn't even play for because he had built a team strong enough to win the ultimate prize without him on the pitch. Section 5, the final chapter, cementing a legacy. After securing 3 Champions Leagues in a row at Madrid, a lot of people thought his story was winding down. Not even close. His late career move to Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia totally reshaped global football economics and proved he still had plenty in the tank. I mean, look at this resume. 5 Champions League titles, 5 Ballon d'Ors, league titles in 4 different countries, the first guy ever to hit 900 career goals, and the all-time top scorer in men's international football. Now, at 41 years old, he's bringing that unmatched ledger into his record-tying 6th and final World Cup. Which leaves us with this incredible thought. If Portugal actually pulls it off this summer, the barefoot kid from Madeira whose heart almost stopped beating will officially become the oldest player in history to lift football's greatest trophy. As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to think about something. Is the thing others call your weakness actually your greatest strength? When you look at his whole journey, that overwhelming emotion that made him cry as a kid, it was never a flaw. Those tears weren't a weakness. They were the exact superpower, that unfiltered obsession that drove him to conquer the entire world of football. So what's the thing inside you that people tell you is too much? Hang on to that thought. Thanks so much for joining me.